Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about hazmat incidents and specifically the different zones used in these incidents to control the contamination and decontaminate victims and rescuers. Once a hazmat incident has been identified, the first step in containing the incident and helping the victims is to establish the hot, warm, and cold zones. These zones will isolate the contamination so no one else, including EMS personnel, become contaminated. All contaminated people, animals, and property must be decontaminated before they can reach the cold zone and receive medical treatment. The hot zone, also known as the exclusionary zone, is the site of contamination. Do not allow anyone into this area unless they are wearing the appropriate PPE. In order to leave this area, patients must pass through the warm or decontamination zone. The warm zone, also known as the contamination reduction zone, is immediately outside the hot zone. It is a buffer zone where patients and personnel are decontaminated after leaving the hot zone. The warm zone has hot and cold ends adjacent to the corresponding hot and cold zones. The cold zone, also known as the safe zone, is where the incident operation occurs. The command post, medical monitoring and rehabilitation, treatment areas, and apparatus staging are all located in the cold zone. This zone must remain free of any contamination. EMS crew should remain inside this zone unless they have the necessary training, equipment, and support to enter other areas. Because the warm zone contains the decontamination corridor, I'm going to explain in detail about the decontamination steps involved in that zone. There are 8 steps that occur in a complete decontamination. The first step is rescuers and victims enter the decon area from the hot end of the corridor and mechanically remove contaminants from the victims. The second step is that rescuers drop equipment in a tool drop area and remove their outer gloves. The third step is decon personnel shower and scrub all victims and rescuers using gross decontamination. As surface decontamination is removed, the runoff is conducted into a contained area. Victims are then moved to step 6 or 7, while rescuers continue to step 4. The fourth step is rescuers remove and isolate their SCBA. They can also obtain new SCBA here if they need to re-enter the hot zone. The fifth step is rescuers remove all protective clothing. Articles are isolated, labeled for disposal, and placed on the contaminated side. The sixth step is rescuers remove all personal clothing. Victims who are still wearing clothes also remove them here. All items are isolated in plastic bags and labeled for later disposal or storage. The seventh step is rescuers and victims receive a full body washing using soft scrub brushes or sponges, water, and mild soap or detergent. Cleaning tools are bagged for later disposal. The eighth and final step is patients receive rapid assessment and stabilization before being transported to hospitals for further care. EMS crews medically monitor rescuers, complete exposure records, and transport rescuers to hospitals as needed. An important thing to remember about field decontamination is that patients may not be fully decontaminated here. Hair, nails, and wounds are some locations where contamination may still exist. Therefore, you must be careful to avoid contaminating yourself and your ambulance while transporting patients. This concludes my video. For more information on hazmat scenes and the decontamination procedures, please visit chemm.nlm.nih.gov/decontamination.